Well, it's kind of an interesting story. I went to school just up the road here at Fairfield High School, and I'd gone to school my whole life, either in Millersburg or which is now part of Goshen, Fairfield High School. So, and I took building trades, and I had mechanics class at Fairfield, and I took welding, so I learned how to weld, and at graduation time, my parents told me, says, well, if you're not going to go to the military, you're going to need to have a job. So I left Millersburg and went out County Road 38 and got here to Supreme Corporation. And there was a sign out front that said welders needed. And so I stopped in, and they had me fill out an application, and I talked to a couple individuals, and then Jim Helmuth interviewed me, and when he got done with me, Omer Krupp interviewed me, and this was on a Thursday, and they said, "Well, can you start Monday?" And I said, "Well, sure." And that's where it all started. And that Monday was the day after I graduated out of high school, so it was pretty lucky, I guess, is the way I put it. There's been times where I probably thought it wasn't lucky, but most generally, though, my career has turned out to be pretty well. I've had lots of individuals that have influenced me here at Supreme. Probably the ones that early on that really influenced me the most was probably Omer Krupp, of course, the gentleman that started the company and made it what it is today, as far as I'm concerned. And then there was Christy Miller. He was my supervisor for right at 30 years. I worked for him the whole time. And Jim Helmuth, of course, he retired many years ago, and he was a great influence. He taught me a lot about just what production was all about, and truck bodies. I probably learned more about truck bodies from Christy, but because we worked side by side for so many years, and then Steve Waddell. Steve Waddell was a great influence. I worked for him. He was my supervisor for many years, and very intelligent, smart individual, hard worker. All of them are very hard workers. There's no question about it. And I learned a lot from all of them. Really did. It's been a learning experience right up to today. Still learning new things as I go. So it keeps it exciting. But those were probably the key individuals. Probably what I'd need to say that is my favorite is interacting with the people in and out of the company. The individuals that work here. We've got lots of good people, and that's one of the reasons I've probably been here for so long, because there are really good people that work here. And then also our customers. I get to interact with our customers from time to time, not on a daily basis like our salespeople do, but when I get that opportunity, it's rewarding to hear what they have to say about our product and about our business and about our people. And that's probably one of my favorite things, is when I do get to interact with customers that buy our product, just to hear their satisfaction of what they get from us. So, and it's made in America. But that's probably the key there, is the people. Probably early on would have been when we built our first fleet. And if I think back, and if I remember right, I could be wrong here, but I believe it was budget rent-a-centers or budget rent-a-trucks. And we built them, and I think our first fleet was 500 units, and they were budget one-ways is what they were actually called. And they had special decals and all that stuff. And I remember working directly with Mark Beer and another good individual that worked here for years, Gary Groves. We put together a plan, and it was a whole different world compared to our retail building going into fleet. And it was our first experience at it, and it was really interesting, and we come up with a lot of good ideas, um, and from year after year from that point, we were building fleets for someone somewhere, and a lot of the things we learned from that first year, from those budget one ways, really influenced how we did things from that point. And to this very day, we're building fleets, and I think a lot of the challenges that we met that first year, and came up with a plan to get beyond those challenges, is still being used today. Well, what I would need to tell them is that it's been a very rewarding career. To work at the same place for 36 years is just a blessing, in my mind, and never having to look at the possibility of being unemployed, not having that paycheck, and being able to raise my family and have a roof over my head, and enjoy life with those ideals of being able to raise a family and make a career of it. That's the big thing is that they've allowed me to work here. They didn't have to let me work. They didn't have to have a job for me, and it's been that way. I mean, I've been able to work and make a career of it, and really have learned a lot of things about life and business over the years that I didn't take the opportunity to go to college or go to the military early on, and it's just been all through Supreme Corporation. Of my career is a learning curve, is all came through here. So I have to appreciate the fact that they let me work here. The individuals, just like seeing you in the morning, it's always nice to have see smiling faces, and people always seem to be pretty cheery. There are times where people get kind of ouchy. They have a rough evening or a rough week or whatever. They'll let you know it. But all in all, most of the time, you see a lot of smiles.
Supreme Corporation.